Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Robert. Good morning, brothers and sisters. North America's Building Trade Union's Governing Board, the CBTU Executive Board. Greetings from our Secretary-Treasurer, Brandon Bishop. I want to thank CBTU Executive Director, my friend Sean Strickland, for the opportunity to join you this morning and speak to you on behalf of all 14 crafts in the unionized construction industry and our provincial councils from rural and urban communities across this country. I appreciate the CBTU's Executive Board, the Chairman, my fellow IUPAT brother Robert Kucherin, the Executive Director as I spoke, and I want to applaud and recognize the great work of the Canadian Executive Board is doing to work in unison to coordinate on various crucial issues across Canada. We commend your steadfast work and dedication to our mission and your unwavering commitment to our current and future members. Now, like Robert, I'd also like to thank the CBTU staff for their tireless work in putting together this phenomenal conference and for their devoted efforts to uplift the unionized construction and our gold standard model throughout Canada. It is really an honor to be here. You're all doing great things in Canada. Our members, families, and countries have experienced so much in the last few years, and we applaud you for helping us navigate through and never wavering in your work. Whether it's pandemics, shutdowns, civil unrest, consequential elections in both the U.S. and Canada, all of you have met these unprecedented challenges head on. And because of your perseverance, our members have a lot to celebrate. Brothers and sisters, over the past few years, pro-worker administrations in both the U.S. and Canada have delivered historic wins that invest in and prioritize workers and their families every step of the way. The federal budget released earlier this year by the federal government was an enormous, absolutely enormous victory for our Canadian members. The budget ensures that in order for companies to receive the maximum investment in tax credits and clean technology, they must commit to strong labor standards like prevailing wages and apprenticeships for our members working on the job. As our nations continue to transition towards a net zero economy, legislative victories like these will ensure our workers are not left behind and that a just transition supports the creation of middle-class family-sustaining careers. Now, I know we'll be seeing the Prime Minister later tonight. Later today, we'll be seeing David Cohen, the Ambassador to the U.S. We'll be seeing other members of Parliament and opposition leaders. Keep rolling. These are busy people, and there's a lot of issues that they're managing. The fact that they are here today and will be here today is significant, and it would not be possible without you. Their presence, their strong relationships with us, and the landmark building trades achievements of this government because of you and the great work that you're doing in the field and at the national level. Give yourself a round of applause. You have delivered game-changing victories for the building trades members across this nation. Our team has worked closely with the Biden administration and in the halls of Congress to lay a sustainable foundation that will generate millions of middle-class family-sustaining careers and protect workers' health and safety and wages for years to come. You may have seen that President Biden announced his re-election and came to do this victory lap and economic platform speech at our conference just 2 weeks ago. The significance of that is not lost on us. Our U.S. brothers and sisters helped deliver several huge victories, with 3 particularly large bills signed into law: the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the Inflation Reduction Act, and the CHIPS and Science Act. The Bipartisan Infrastructure Law is a result of a decades-long fight to rebuild America's crumbling roads and bridges, rails and schools, while securing millions of good-paying jobs for our members of today and tomorrow. The CHIPS and Science Act will jumpstart a boom of semiconductor manufacturing facilities across the United States, unprecedented. And the Inflation Reduction Act, similar to the investment tax credits in Canada, provides historic labor protections in the largest commitment in U.S. history to fight climate change and accelerate domestic energy production. Brothers and sisters, over the next 10 years, these investments from these 3 laws will generate nearly $4 trillion, all committed to rebuilding our infrastructure. I must say that while I am in awe of these wins, that with all of your hard work and with the support of the Trudeau administration and the Biden-Harris administration, and with the bipartisan support of our issues across the United States and Canada, I'm not surprised by them. Brothers and sisters, we know we have the best model to rebuild North America's middle class. We have the gold standard training to deploy the most highly skilled workforce to rebuild North America's infrastructure. And we have two of the most labor-friendly leaders in our history who adamantly support our model, our workforce, and who are prioritizing both of us and our members in their agenda. We must communicate what our building trades government supporters have done. We must give them the facts. You, here in this audience, must tell our members what is being done through legislative and policy for our industry, for the working class, for the middle class, and for our members. I say that, brothers and sisters, because just because we got these victories does not mean our job is done. We are and must still work diligently to advance workforce development through increased diversity programs and recruitment and retention initiatives. We are continuing our fight for stronger standards for wages and health and safety. We keep advocating for these issues like permitting reform and cross-border mobility. And we are strengthening current and cultivating new industry relationships to expand our footprint, market share so that we can successfully capitalize on the opportunities in front of us and maximize the amount of work from this increased demand. As you know, a lot of our work is in the energy sector. NABTU supports an all-the-above energy strategy to support and grow the middle class by prioritizing not only climate change, but a truly sustainable future that equally values work, workers, and the labor standards for a just transition. However, we know that we can only achieve these goals with reasonable timing to approve a project. For energy and high-profile projects to be successful now and in the future, our governments at all levels, all parties across this continent must take action on permitting reform. NABTU continues to work with our partners in Canada to ensure the construction of Line 5 in the Strait of Mackinac and make sure it moves forward. It is a key pillar of why we are so focused on permitting reform in the United States. This is a 4.5-mile pipeline that will take over 6 years to permit. Unnecessary red tape has too often killed the work hours of our members. It's too often ended projects before they even break ground. We know we must get this streamlined, this process for the sake of our members on both sides of the border. The latest research shows that unionized construction productivity is 14% higher and labor costs are 4% lower than the non-union. Owners across the industry are starting to catch on to this. Just look at the over $30 billion in small modular reactor agreements, over $20 billion in CCS agreements, over $40 billion in offshore wind agreements that we have negotiated in both countries. Look at the $80 billion U.S. Amtrak agreement, over $250 billion from CHIPS and the U.S.-Alaska Willow Project. And let's not forget to mention all the new energy projects like you are hearing about this week. Basically, where you find people building in North America, you're going to find the building trades. While labor availability challenges exist, certain trades and in certain regions, we continue to attract and retain more people to the unionized construction industry, and we keep expanding our programs. Brothers and sisters, we are now and will continue to reach more equity-deserving groups to recruit apprentices through projects like In the Trades. We are working with governments in the U.S. and Canada to increase cross-border mobility for the building trades members because of highly skilled world-class workforce on both sides of the border. We know ours is the only model for workforce development in the construction industry that can expand or contract based on market needs. And let me emphasize, this is our opportunity to provide opportunity to the next generation of skilled trades professionals and to build jobs for tomorrow. Now, as I have said, and you will keep hearing me say, with the work that is coming our way, in order to meet increased demand across North America, we need to double down on our pursuits and programs to recruit and retain what we are now calling the infrastructure generation. To get this right, to truly maximize our opportunities from these investments, it will take all of us working together with intentionality, commitment, and resources to recruit and retain more women, communities of color, indigenous people, veterans, and the justice evolved among our ranks, and we need them all. While much work remains in these efforts, we're making progress and continue leading the industry on diversity recruitment and equity programs. Now, earlier this year, we unveiled the first study of its kind that gave the entire industry in the U.S. a benchmark in which we were all held to the same standards on DEI and workforce development programs. The findings underscore the workforce development pipeline, programs and true workforce development tools like PLAs, community benefit agreements, and collective bargaining agreements. And that is just in the United States. Many advanced programs in Canada are meeting the same thresholds. The numbers across North America show that our system is driving real change in both recruitment and retention, and our pipeline is building a diverse trades model. Brothers and sisters, over the last 20 years, our joint apprenticeship programs have registered 40,000 more women and nearly 300,000 more people of color in North America than the non-union sector. As we invest nearly $2 billion annually in workforce development, and our registered apprenticeship system continues to be the gold standard for our contractors. With this group of highly skilled, diverse workers, the building trades have registered about 75,000 new apprentices in the United States annually, about 300,000 since 2017. Our Helmets to Hard Hats program continues to place thousands of military veterans into the training system in the United States and Canada. Our tradeswomen initiatives are growing exponentially. Our Build Together and indigenous initiatives, the funding from the Office to Advance the Women Apprentices, along with NABTU's Tradeswomen Heroes program and Lean In Circles, are bringing together thousands of women of all experience levels and ethnicities, empowering tradeswomen and building skills that help our sisters on and off the job site. A key part of our Tradeswomen program is the annual Tradeswomen Build Nations Conference. TWBN is now the largest gathering of building trades members on a yearly basis. This event is more than a conference. It's a movement that empowers our sisters and increases recruitment and retention and advances the standards and policies to support tradeswomen in our industry. Please come, and please send your women to this year's conference, which will be in December in Washington, D.C. Brothers and sisters, we applaud our councils, our industry partners, and all the community partners, and all of you in this room for your work to make our industry more diverse, equitable, inclusive for all people from all backgrounds. As you may know, this is a huge priority for us. Brothers and sisters, at long last, so many families have a chance because of your commitment to break the chain of poverty that in some cases has lasted generations. Within the trades, the veterans programs like Helmets to Hard Hats and organizations like Trades Futures are helping us to expand on-ramps to registered apprenticeship, supporting young people entering the industry with wraparound services like childcare, with efforts to transform the construction industry's culture from job site to job site. We'll be able to meet the moment ahead of us, recruit and retain a more diverse workforce, and make sure that our job sites are safe work environments for everybody. That is why you'll also keep increasing investments in health and safety initiatives with industry experts and partners to protect all of our workers' physical and mental health and safety on the job. Another way we are working to protect building trades working families is our Capital Strategies program, which invests in companies and industries that ensure their investments in construction and maintenance and operations do not leave us out. We now have over $800 billion in pension fund assets and over $1.7 trillion of private and public sector investments currently under responsible contractor policies. Our plan is to reach $3 trillion in the next 5 years. I will close with this. Brothers and sisters, it is on us to make our value known. We need to communicate to the public what an awesome opportunity we provide, and that apprenticeship delivers the life-changing opportunity of truly succeeding without having to go to college. We need to make these policy wins known and correct the misinformed out in the field and in our communities. We need to promote the stories of young apprentices, journey-level workers, and retirees from your locals whose lives are being changed by these investments. Let's get out there today and let's say, join us. Let's continue to service our members and clients that have been with us through thick and thin. Let's market ourselves like never before to new contractors and owners who are now seeing the value of our work. All of us can and must seize this moment. This is a transformational time for our industry and our unions. You are creating the opportunities now that will uplift more people into the middle class and include more people who have been left behind. Keep building communities, building lives through the middle class, family-sustaining careers that our unions offer. The work you're doing is truly building trades for tomorrow, building trades careers for the next generation, for building trades union members. Thank you again for having me today. I wish you all a great conference. God bless the building trades and God bless Canada. Thank you.